Okay, just a quick recap. We started looking at a bunch of more. 2 weeks ago, we looked at basic command line commands. Last week, we looked at more common ones, but more advanced ones, and we're going to continue on with that. We had kind of taken a little tangent with aliases. We can talk about that, but I really want to get through the material so I know that I've covered everything. You can ask me all the questions that you need to ask me, because the midterm is posted. You have a couple of days to finish that. I think it's due by Thursday, if I remember correctly. Okay. Okay, alias, and okay. All right. Let's say you want to get rid of a file or a folder. The command rm is one of, let's call it, the more dangerous command. There is no trash. There is no recycle bin. There is no whatever you want to call it for Linux. Linux assumes that you are grown up enough that when you want to get rid of something, you get rid of it, and it completely obliterates, for our purposes, it completely obliterates it, and you no longer have access to it. I have managed to, by not paying attention and issuing the simple command of print working directory, managed to delete many years of collected music. It happens. Make sure it doesn't happen to you. And if you can see on the slide, the way that we're going to make sure that it doesn't happen to you is by issuing the flag tick-I. Tick-I is interactive, where it kind of holds your hand, and if you say remove tick-I, something whatever, it will confirm, do you really want to remove it? Okay. So that's tick-I, that's the third one. The first flag is tick-R, which with many CLI commands means recursive. Recursive means drop into the folder that we're talking about and look to see what's there. If there's a folder, drop into that folder, look to see what's there. If there's a folder, drop into that one, see if anything's there. If there's not a folder, erase everything, then go up a level. And if there are no more folders, erase everything, go up a level. If there's nothing left, then the command is done. So that's recursive. And tick-F is to force things to be deleted, which sometimes helps, sometimes doesn't. I tend to just add it rm tick-RF, remembering that you can piggyback multiple flags on top of one another. So that command would look like rm rf, and then my temp dir, and that would delete it. Or when you download stuff, download font files and stuff like that, and they usually come in a zip file or tar file, something like it comes in some sort of zipped up file. And so I expand it, and the zip file hangs around. So eventually, every once in a while, I'll go into my downloads directory, and I'll issue a command like rm-rf tick *zip, and that's anything that then ends in zip will be deleted, and it'll recurse into all directories and delete everything, which is usually not a problem. Anyway. Again, when you are issuing this command, you are deleting it for good and forever. Not hunting through the trash to find it, none of that. It is gone, gone, goodbye. So issue this command with caution, doubly if you are issuing this command as a super user, if you are in sudo mode. I remember from last week we said the command sudo and then whatever is do this as a user with the greatest amount of privileges available on the system, i.e. the root user. Okay, so that's RM. Tick R for recursive, tick F for force, and tick I for interactive. RMDIR directory. Okay, If you have a directory that's empty, you can issue rmdir, and it will delete the directory. Does the same thing. If it's not empty, it will not allow a thrown error, which it makes it a little bit more useless than than you would consider. But so I typically don't bother with rmdir because it has to be because the directories have to be empty in order to remove them, which is like stupid. Just issue rm tick rf and it amounts to the same thing. Okay. All right. So those are the basic. Those are the basic commands for which you enter typically one or maybe two parameters. So now what we're going to start exploring and learning is how to find things within the Linux file system from the command line. Okay? All right. Wait, what? Did I do this out of order? No. Yeah, okay. So that... Let me just look. Okay, so it's a little mixed up. So let's hold on to finding things. Things are a little bit out of order on the slideshow. My bad. It doesn't matter. We're going to go through. Anyway, okay. So in your terminal, type in date, and what should happen is it'll return a date string. It'll tell you the day of the week, the month, the number of the day number, what time it is, what time zone you're in, and the year. Yes? Can I get a yes, no? Oops. Did I lose y'all? No. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Cyrus, where are we at? Anyone see Cyrus? Okay. Really? Oh man, it's like every week. Alright, I feel bad. Okay. So, it's a fairly simple command. If you then do man date, you can see that there are different options that you can set with date. Typically, if you're just looking, if you're like, what date do I need? Type it, or what time is it? Or what time does the computer think it is? And you're in the command line, you do not have to get out of the command line to then go and look at the thing if it's full screen or whatever. So you just type in date and bang, it's there. And that's terrific. Okay. So now we can, and that gives you the date and the time. Now type in cal, and you can see that it will actually show you a little calendar of the current month. Cool. I happen to like it's one of the first commands that I ever learned. I always loved it. It's it's just one of those sentimental things. But yeah, if you want to know exact, it's a different way of looking at it. So there's a principle. Let me see if I can principalize this. Okay. You look on the whiteboard at the bottom, and you'll see. Okay, you'll see something that is pronounced Tim Tau to D. There is more than one way to do it, and this is a principle that extends into programming, since I know that you're familiar with programming, and this is Linux itself. There's more than one way to do it. So yes, we can do all these things more or less from the graphic interface, but when we're on the command line and we're working in the command line, we're getting things done, which is the purpose of Linux, is to get things done and not to aggravate, unfortunately, over technical issues, which I'm hoping are Apple-related issues and not actually Linux-related issues. But this principle of there's more than one way to do it applies, again, to the date and the calendar. If you do a man cal, it will also give you a number of different options that you can issue. Number 3, if I remember correctly, if you do tick 3, it'll show you 3 months, I think. Yeah, it'll show you the month prior and the month post. So that would be if I issued Cal 3, it'll show me the month before, month after, and the current month, and the actual day of will be highlighted. So fun little command line utilities that allow you to look up some stuff. Okay, that's in searching, that's in finding, that's in finding, that's in locate. Okay. This fun little command, WC, stands for word count. Simple enough. Now, what we need is a document with a bunch of words. So what I want you to do is, from the command line, I'm gonna show you a little bit ahead, and then actually next week we're going to learn about what this means. So what I'm going to ask you to do is type in man cal and then a greater than 40-something years old, I still don't remember. It's a greater than symbol, and then I want you to write man cal.txt. Okay, and if you're issuing this from your home directory, in your home directory you should, you don't have to type the prompt, obviously, that's for effect. You type in man cal, and you're outputting what gets outputted into a document called mancal.txt. Okay, when you do that, let me know. Okay, and all that should happen, I'm waiting. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm waiting again. Okay. So we're all good? Okay. All right. So the next command that we're going to look at is WC, which is word count. And there are actually a couple of flags we need to. Okay. So what I asked you to do, I'm going to scroll back up, and I'm going to ask you to issue that command. So what you're doing is you're actually asking to see the manual page for the calendar, but then you're redirecting, or greater than is to redirect it into a file that we're going to call mancal.txt. And once you issue that command, you then issue ls, and within the other files that you see in your file system, in your directory, you're going to see mancal.txt. Okay? What I want you to do then is I want you to issue wc mancal.txt, or wc manc and a tab to autocomplete. Okay, and when you issue that command, text me in the chat what the result of your of that command is. Okay. Ellis, you have the same thing? Okay. So what you're looking at is the result. And the result is you have 125 new lines, or returns. You have 811 words, which is separated by spaces. The characters separated by spaces that constitutes a word, and you have 5,603 characters in the document. Now you should be able to see that what am I looking at? That the third, if you do an ls tick al, it should give you the same number of bytes, 5603, in that list. That you whatchamacallit. You should get the same number because it's the same number of bytes, 5,603. Okay, so let's say we just want the word count. We would do wc tickc mancal.txt, and that'll just give you the word count. And going back to the slide, if you issue wc tick l, it'll give you the number of lines in that, and that didn't come up in the response that you got. So I want you to type in wc tick l mancal.txt, and you should get something like near about 100 lines. Okay, there you go, 125. So I was putting on there. Okay, and that's word count for. Okay, so now we'd probably be better off if we had a file we could work with. Let's see what I can do here. And trying to think if there's a. No, that file's already. Okay. I should have thought about. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can scrape something together. Actually, okay, let's go back to options. 10 seconds. Let me just You can find on the internet if you know what to look for. And what I'm going to do is, let me see. Come on. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm creating a document. Okay. What I need to do is now I need to upload it to the session, and I want to put in session assets. Go. Okay, I'm gonna add a okay, and now okay, take a look in the lower right hand corner. There should be an attachment called Words. Do you see that? Okay, it should open up a URL. Great. Okay, so let me see. Okay, I want you to try this. Yeah, no, I know. I just we don't need to do screen sharing. I'm just doing everything in chat because anyway. Okay, so you see Words in the lower corner. The question is, how are we going to get to? I have an idea. I'm generating now. Oh, come on, really? For sure? Bummer. Okay, got it. Okay, I want you to go to that in your virtual machine on a browser, or what is wget, and let me just see what happens if I do that. Okay, so what you can do, you can issue this command, okay, and it should be short enough that you can just copy it. There's a little lowercase I at the beginning. So if you issue that command, what's going to happen is it's going to download a file called IR9S, capitalization is important, it'll create a file called ir9sv. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to issue the command ir9sv to words.txt. Yeah, so we're using a command that we learned a couple weeks ago. So what we're doing is we're downloading a document of words that are 500 words long. It's a document of 500 words, okay? And there are duplicates, which is kind of cool. Let me know that you have downloaded the document and that you have a words.txt document that is exactly 3,598 characters. And you can do WCC on that if you want, or just plain old WC words.txt. You with me? Okay, which part of it? Your virtual machine? Are there other programs that you can shut to make your virtual machine faster? Okay. Maybe it might be because we're not logged into We're not logged into Canvas. Try seeing if logging into Canvas will not Canvas. No, you're logged in at Jigsaw. Why isn't it what? Okay, what happens if you click on the link to words in your... Oh, but that's still not going to... Okay, Cyrus, can you share your screen? Okay, can you share your screen? Yeah, so maybe you have to log into Jigsaw in your virtual machine. No, but if you're doing it, I sent you permission. Yeah, so I created. I made you a presenter. Can you do it now? Hmm. Okay, but how are you gonna? You can, but how are you gonna get that file into your virtual machine? Okay. So, but we want it to be saved as a file in your file system in your virtual machine. So you can manage that. Okay. Ellis, what about you? Okay. All right. Let me know when you have the file in your Linux file system, and then we'll move on with sort and unique. And we lost Cyrus. And we got Cyrus back. Okay. Okay, as soon as you have words.txt in your Linux file system, just give me a shout out or wave at me or whatever you can do in that little, what's it called, down there, I think, in the, a rabbit or a turtle or waving or I don't care what. And we lost ours again. Oh man, this is not going so great. Better, we need better. Okay. How about you? Do you have the file downloaded in your Linux box? Okay. Okay. Well, it's offline, so I'm kind of, yeah, I'm assuming that. And just in case you're curious, and like I said, you can find pretty much everything on the internet. I went to this website and I asked for 500 words, and duplicates are okay. So hopefully it gave me a couple of duplicates, because guess what? That's what Unique deals with. Yeah, let's see what happens. Yep, we'll have 51 uniques in the list that I sent you. Okay, Cyrus is back. Awesome. Okay, so we're working now on getting words.txt to your Linux boxes. Okay, we're recording. Alright, so now we have a file, words.txt, in your Linux file system. Awesome. First command I want you to run on is sort space word.txt. And what you're going to see is a list. It's going to output a list of the files of the. It's going to output the lines of the file sorted in alphabetical order. Ta-da! Again, refer to the man page if you want to know more about how you can do different types of sorts and whatnot. But right now, I'm just going for the basics. Okay, you type in sort words.txt and it outputs a list of sorted right. Who? Me? My vocabulary or the list? Oh, okay. So I don't know if you saw. I posted the URL. If you scroll up a little bit in the chat, exactly what the where I generated these words from. So again, you can find anything you want on the internet. Just for better or for worse. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, okay. I'm gonna reach a little bit into next week, and I'm going to ask you to just checking something. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to type in unique words.txt, all right? And now what you're going to see is and what happens when you do that is you're going to see that it's not going to be in alphabetical order anymore. Why isn't it going to be in alphabetical? Because we didn't do anything. All we did was we said to sort the utility, we said, okay, I want you to take this file and then I want you to sort it out. And without any other command, it says, okay, and I'll just put it right here for you to see it. Or I'll put it on standard output, which is computer speak for, I'll put it right here in the terminal for you to see it. So it didn't change the file words.txt. All it did was it took the contents of word.txt and it sorted it out, outputted it for you, and it was done with its job, which is great. Except now we want to know, let's say we wanted to know how many words there were. Now we happen to know that there were 500, but what we could do is we could say, well, once you take this output, I want you to send this output as input to the next command. And we're going to learn a lot more about this next week, but right now what I want you to do is I want you to issue the command sort words.txt, and then that's a pipe. That's the shift up and down double dot, word count, and lines. And what's going to happen is instead of seeing the 500 words the 500 words, we're actually just going to see the number 500, because now we're saying we want to take that list that you're outputting it and put it back into word count, and then we want word count's output, which is the number 500. Okay, this is a little preview into next week. Okay, if you run unique on this command, and I'm going to save this actually for next week, but if you run unique on this word list, you would be able to, I'm pretty sure, hold on a second, no, that's not wrong. Okay, if you run unique on it, it will actually, no, you know what? Let's save unique for next week. I'm pretty sure it's not in, well, I'm not sure whether or not it's in the midterm, but suffice it to say, like, let me just, again, more preview, but we will discuss this. I will explain it, but we would do the same thing next week. We'll do the same thing. Sort words.txt, txt, and then send it to unique, which will extract the duplicates, and then if I counted the words, it would give me 449. Okay, good. Now you're going to have to take a little bit on faith, and we're not going to worry about it for this week. We'll worry about it next week. Okay, now what I'm doing is on my computer, you can't see what I'm doing, I am resaving this I'm resaving this presentation, and I'm going to re-upload it to the class. Okay, I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to add a new asset, which is a presentation. Just cleaned up the file a little bit, just so okay, and uploading it. Please don't take forever. Taking a little bit of forever. Okay, so while I'm getting that sorted out, we're just going to go back through this one, and okay. So now we're going to learn how to find things using Linux. Now there are two things that you're going to want to you're generally going to want to be looking for. You're going to be looking for files, or you're going to be looking for content within the file. Okay, makes sense. So the first thing that we're going to learn is we're going to search for strings within a file. So we use the command called grep. Okay. Now grep looks in each file, and it returns whatever it finds. So if we type grep QUIET in words.txt, okay, hold on a second. Yeah. Okay. If we issue the command grep quiet words.txt, your result is it's going to respond with one reference to the word quiet. Okay. Because it found it exactly one time. Okay, pretty easy. Now, let's say we had a bunch of files. We just wanted to find all the files that that contained a particular word. So what we would do is we would issue a command, something like grep word. We would grep and list the files in Word, and then the asterisk, which would be in every file that we're looking for. Okay, fairly simple. And then what it would do is it would give us a list of files. So if you were looking for a particular term that you knew you were looking for, you would, and you say, where is it? So you'd issue grep, you'd do grep minus tick L, and it would give you the list of the files, because you don't necessarily want to know exactly where it is in the file. We don't really care. So actually, what we also have that file called man mancal.txt. Okay, so if we grep find grep. Let me see. Man cal.txt. Okay. Let me do two things. Remove temp words.txt here. Okay. Now if we grep the word, I don't know any that. You know what? Let's grep the word calendar in star.txt. Oops. Okay, and what you'll see if you issue this command, grep calendar in star.txt, what you'll see is that it'll return every instance where calendar appears, and it happens to be for our purposes, mancal.txt has it 6 times. Great. Okay. Let's see if we can find a common the word year. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing here. No. All right. So in 500 words, I haven't found anything that's similar in both mancal.txt and words.txt, but suffice it to say that if you issue grep calendar in star.txt, it'll look for any occurrence of the word calendar in any file that ends in .txt. Okay? Tick R again means recursive. That means it'll look, rather than looking in just this directory level, it'll go down into each and every directory, sub this whatever level you're in, and it'll display it. And tick, and the double tick include will allow you to specify allow you to specify file types more like properly. I'm trying to, like, well, right now I'm looking in the man page so I can figure out how to explain it. Okay. Okay. So you know what? You don't have to worry about tick include. I'm not gonna be asking you about that. That I know for sure. Okay. So if you're looking for strings within files, you would use grep. Now, if you're looking for a file specifically, you would use the find command. So if you issue the command find, okay, you start with the command find. And the next thing you have to tell it is, where do you want me to start looking? Okay, so what we're going to use is we're going to use the single dot, which is this directory. You can search in any directory, you know, relative or absolute, but dot means this directory. Okay, and then what we want to tell it is, well, what do you want to look for? So there are a bunch of ways to do this. And you can name. Okay, so if you issue the command find and then dot for this current directory, and then the name is WOR asterisk, it should respond with words.txt. Yep. Okay, eventually it will. Okay, so now it's not looking for strings within the it's not looking for strings within the files. It's actually looking for the names of the files, and it will respond with whatever matches, star being the wild card for any character whatsoever. So find tick name words, fine. What you can also do is you can find from here, and you can actually tell it what type of file you're looking for. Are you looking for a text file, or you're looking for a directory? So if you issue find type D, capital D-O star, what do you get? Write back to me what you get. Uh-oh. And I broke something. What did I break? No, I can't type. Really? What did I broke it. Yay, me. Oh, right, idiot. Okay. Sorry, went a little stupid there for a second. Right, so not actually that, but what we're doing is now we're chaining them together, which is the part that I forgot. So if you issue find, like find dot type D, it will respond with all of the directories. Now, if we issue the command find in this directory, any directories with a name that starts with DO, it'll show you documents and downloads, and then anything that might actually be below it. So again, so where grep you use to find strings, with find you use it to find file names or directory names in our case, and specifically in our case. Okay, and you can specify it. And again, the man page has a lot of different variations on this. These are the basics that you are responsible for understanding. Okay. Okay. Locate is a more locate is a more recent. It was meant to replace the more complicated. So with the find command, you can actually do a lot of complicated things with it, which I'm not really going to do. More of an overview. We'll get into a little bit more later on, maybe about like the 8th or 9th module. But basically, locate is like find, only it's a simpler. Wow, I've lost English today. It's simpler syntax. So if you type in locate quiet, you will get back a response of any file name that has quiet. Now, what this does is this starts from the locate command starts from the root directory by default, and will find everything in your system that has any part of the name quiet. Notice that I didn't use a wildcard on either side of it. It doesn't care. It will respond with everything. So if you issue the command locate quiet, you will find quiet wherever it is hiding on your machine. I just realized why that's so funny. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let's find things. Now it's interesting. We're going to look at apropos. Okay? And apropos, if you want to know on your system what programs can possibly do what you want to do, you would type apropos, let's say image. Okay? And what apropos and whatever it is that you're searching for will return is a whole lot of information from man pages, from programs, applications, utilities, whatever. it will, and wherever it is located, if it's in the description or anything, if you type in apropos image, you're going to get a fire hose of things that are on your system already that are related to image. Okay, so this is a fun way to learn a whole lot about your systems that you kind of never really would have expected. So if you type in apropos image, I'm not sure what you're going to get, but I get a whole bunch of stuff, and it's just I see commands, I see utilities, I see the image manipulation program that I use for making banners and stuff like that. Let's see, if I type in apropos slide, apropos presentation, and I'm looking for specific, really? Apropos impressions. Okay, so I use the program that I use to create the presentation. It's called Impress. It's from LibreOffice, which I'm sure you've downloaded and you've been playing with, and you've abandoned Microsoft to embrace open source because it is a wonderful thing. So you type in apropos. So you want your computer to do something. Type in I'm going to guess wrong. So whichever one of you is a Python with Python programmers to do apropos Python, and what do you get? You get a whole bunch of Python related things that you can do in your machine. Yes? Awesome. Just to go over everything we talked about this class in no particular order, apparently. Okay, we can remove a file or files and directories recursively and force it to disappear and make it interactive. We can remove empty directories. We can show a quick date time string on the command line, so we don't have to start clicking and hunting in the graphic interface. CalTIC3, which is not in the midterm, so don't worry about that. But Cal will show you a calendar in the grid format, or TIC3 will show you the month before and the month after. And again, you can specify, you can look up the calendar of the year that you were born, right? If I type in cal, yeah. So if you type in cal in the year that you were born, you will see the 12-month calendar, and you can tell me what day of the week you were born on. So I happen to know I was born on a Friday. Okay. So that's date and calendar. Again, there's going to be nothing hiding in the man pages that I'm going to trick you with on any of these commands. Everything that you need to know is in the Anki deck. So if you've been using the Anki deck, you're golden. If not, you can use the man pages. You can use the man pages. It is, let's call it an open resource test, since Open Book is so 1983. It is an open resource test. That means that I don't care if you hunt down each answer to the ends of the earth. I want the right answers. Okay? It is not cheating to look up something that you don't know, in my opinion, in this classroom, just in case Eva or John are watching. No, seriously. In development, in any type of development, in understanding things, I believe that understanding how to find things is a more relevant skill than simply memorizing lists of things. When it comes to history, it's an entirely different thing, but that's only my opinion. Okay. Let's try and do this in some sort of order. Okay, we looked at word count, which will give us the the line count, the actual word count of space delineated words, and the number of bytes. Or if we just issue a tick L, will give us the line count. Tick W will give us just the word count. Okay. And then we looked at sort, which will take a file and alphabetize it. Again, by default, there are other means of sorting that you can use. There are other flags or switches that you can use in order to get the type of sorting that you want. Unique will take a list that has duplicates, and if I remember correctly, the duplicates kind of have to follow each other. So what we're going to look at next week, when we look at combining commands using the pipe and the output, things that I hinted at this week. So what we would do is we would sort it out, and then unique, and then look at the unique, which would take out any of the duplicates, and then so that gives us all the unique lines that exist. Okay, and for the search element of it, now that we're okay, we looked at grep, which is the search for strings within files, and then we can do it recursively. We can specify the name of the file, or the file type that we're looking at. So it's include equals, if I issue the command let's say, okay. So if I were looking for something specifically, if I was trying to grep through files, and we actually do use it as a verb, this is grepping through files. I only want to look in Python source files, or you know what I mean, Python source files. So I do grep include, and then anything followed by a period, and that's an escaped period, which means that I actually mean a literal period, and then ending with py. So that's how I would use the include flag in order to specify, and then L simply lists out the files, so I don't necessarily know which file it's in, or where the reference in the specific file is. I just need to know that it exists, and that lessens or reduces my search for whatever it is that I'm looking for. Again, real helpful with programming, especially if you're looking for some esoteric command, and or you created a function and you want to rename it and stuff like that. That stuff kind of helps. Okay. The find command, the opposite. The find command actually looks for the file name, and when we specify a file, we specify first the directory relative to the search, meaning we can start it at the root directory. If we did find / that would be the root directory. If we did find period, that's usually the current directory, or we can specify any particular directory we want, and then we would identify it by either we can give it the name flag, and we can look for we can do searches for partial names, wildcards, and stuff like that. We can do search for types. There are other things we looked. We didn't look in depth at permissions that, if I remember correctly. You can actually, there are ways to do it. You can do search for permissions, and then the find command is more powerful in that. And I could spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks on find itself, but I'm not going to at this point. You can actually execute commands based on it. So real life situation. What I do is that every once in a while I have to go through the web servers that I'm responsible for, and anybody that's managed to slip past any security that I've done, I need to root out the files that are the malicious files and delete them. So what I do is I find a commonality within the files, and then I do a search find these types of files, and I'm very specific, otherwise I'm going to start deleting things all over the servers. So I do a very specific find on this, and then I execute rm. Ta-da! I get rid of it all at once. Use one line and zap all of it, and my servers are clean, and I'm happy, and my customers are happy, and everybody's happy. So the find command searching for file names versus grep searching for strings. If you haven't noticed, I'm being real specific about how I'm explaining that. Okay. Locate, a relatively newer way of finding files. You do locate and even a partial string. You do not need to use wildcards, and it will find every file on your system that matches even partially to the string that you searched on. Okay, that, and we did sorting. We did that. Apropos searches within the machine itself for programs and programs, utilities, whatever, programs, utilities that match either in the name or the description what you're searching for. So if you cannot remember what program does something, or you want to manipulate a PDF, and there are a number of very powerful PDF manipulation tools available in Linux. So if you want to do apropos PDF, and it'll show you all the different things, and then you find the specific PDF manipulation utility that you want to use. You want to extract pages and whatnot is PDFTK. If I recall, let me actually just do that command all by my own. Apropos PDF and PDFTK. PDFTK. PDFTK was actually very useful. I'm sorry, PDFTK. It's very useful when I was working. I don't know if I mentioned, I wrote a cookbook. No, seriously, actually. I wrote a cookbook. It's backwards, but it says Kitchen Confident, Cooking Without Reservation. Long story. Anyway, I wrote a cookbook, but so thank you. When I was recipe testing and stuff like that, I had it all laid out, and I had a huge PDF. And somebody said, I'd say, oh, can you test this recipe for me? And I go to PDFTK, and 2 seconds later, I had just that recipe page in a PDF, and then shot it to them in an email. It's kind of really cool. Great program. PDFTK is not on the midterm. Okay. But finding it in apropos was. Okay. So that's it for everything that is going to be in the midterm. Okay. Now, going back to aliases. Going back to YouTube DL. I sent you the YouTube DL link, the page rather, that I posted for how to very specifically install YouTube DL from source. It relies on another program that I'm pretty sure I talk about. I'm pretty sure I'm talking about it in. If I'm not talking about it, then I'm definitely going to be talking about it. I'm just checking through. Okay, just going to stick it right in here, and what just happened? Hello. Wow, for reals? Okay, so a little reminder for me. I set up a page, and it's working. You downloaded YouTube DL the way I described it, and you downloaded Coltrane, and it's all good. Awesome. I'm delighted that I still know what I'm doing. Alice, what about you? You managed it? Yes? Okay, awesome. So, that's when I take unexpected tangents in class, and all of a sudden things blow up in my face because, karma. So, all right. Okay, so we got that working. So, with it, so now to continue from last week's conversation, let me find my alias. Okay, so in my bash aliases file, just as a reminder, I have this command, and what it says is that when I type in ytmp3 and then follow it with a YouTube URL, what this alias will do is it will use YouTube DL, and in your case it's not user bin, it's user local bin. Anyway, so user, and do it quietly, and don't change the modification time, and use the console title, and or like bring it into memory and output it into in my home directory, in the music subdirectory, the title of the file and the title of the song or the file, whatever, and the extension, and then extract the audio and use the audio format known as MP3. There are other audio formats, but MP3 is by far the most common. Not the best one, incidentally. And in this particular WMA Windows music format, a little bit better and a little bit smaller. So go figure. But OGG does a good job also. Anyway, I like MP3. So that is entered into my .bash aliases. That is in my bash aliases file. It's a hidden file in my home directory. And once I enter that into bash aliases, did we go over how to enter it, or not really? Okay, so let's just do this real simply. Kate.bash aliases. Enter that command. Kate is a simple word processor, simple text editor. Wow. Oh man, I need to drink coffee, or I need to not drink coffee. I'm not sure which one it is, but coffee is definitely involved. Anyway, so if you issue the command Kate, Kate is a text editor, which might be in the midterm. And then and if the file does not exist, it will create it. And if the file does exist, it will open it. So simple. It really is. Anyway, so Kate, home directory /.bash_aliases. Aliases? Hold on a second. More dot aliases, yes. We first have to install Kate. Okay, sudo apt get install Kate. Or if you prefer, which you might, again, these are choices. This is Linux. It is your system. It is up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you how to do what you need to do. Apt get install. LeafPad is another one. Now, I don't know if LeafPad is necessarily in the distribution, but okay, fine. Working, Yofi, which means beautiful in Hebrew, and I've avoided saying it for 6 weeks, but yeah, it snuck in finally. All right. Okay, so in Kate, you want to scroll back up, and you want to get that line into that file. Once that line is in the file, then you want to go to File Save, and it'll save the file, close out the file, and then again from your back to your command line, what you're going to do is you're going to type in source bash aliases. And this is a command that really only has any purpose that I've ever used it for when you're changing these configuration files. Source rereads the instruction set from whatever file that it is that you're indicating. So so you don't have to log out and log back in. It just says reload. I don't know why it's reload. It's source. It's not reload. Too bad. It's the way it is. So when you finish editing your aliases file, and let me just Gotta. Okay, this is also great if you're a spazzy typer like I used to be, and each of these should all be on separate lines, but that's terrible. It's actually terrible and horrible, and I'm gonna fix that. Oh, that didn't work either. Okay, so that was stupid twice. Each alias is on a separate line. But if you're a spazzy typer like I am, so more, if I use the spell MROE, my fingers are moving too fast. So now, really, MRO is an alias for more, which is a command that allows you to see file one screen at a time. Okay, we'll learn about that. I'm pretty sure next week. You know what? I'm putting it in. Okay, and really? I don't have. Okay. 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 Where are we up to? Is this clear? Are we done? Did we do aliases? I know we kind of left it halfway, and I've explained it, and I've been a little quick about it. Yes, and you have the alias. You source the alias file. Now, when you type ytmp3 and then some http colon blah 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 blah, it will immediately download. Now, I have the Q switch in there, and that just suppresses any output. You can choose to remove it, and it'll just show you what it's doing. It'll show you its output as it progresses. That's entirely up to you. I don't need to see it anymore because I know that it's working, and I set things up so that it kind of updates itself every once in a while. But that's entirely up to you. You can take that Q switch out, and it should work fine. I'll just give you a little bit more output. And of course, I chose to put it in my music folder. So actually, what am I doing here? Okay. I can show you nothing. Don't type that in. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'll show you the scripting of it later. So I actually have so I have a server at home, and that's where I actually store I don't store stuff on my laptop. I shove it all to a server, which is backed up and all that. So I put it in music folder, and then I have Linux every 5 minutes, looks in my music folder, sees if there are any changes, and shoots it over to the server. All real cool. We're going to learn about automation, and for that, the more questions you ask me, the more we'll be able to learn about how to automate stuff together. Okay, the midterm is posted. You have until Thursday or Thursday night, Friday, something like that, to complete it. Good luck, and we will. There is no homework other than study everything that I just taught you, and the Anki deck, and do the midterm. And I will see you next week. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I told you, we're going to start off nice and slow, and then we're going to start zipping through stuff. Was not a lie. Have a good week, gentlemen. Good luck on your test.